Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon. Today I'm going to be going over a Renekton game with you guys and just kind of talking through it. So just initially starting off, we're into a Pantheon in this game. So typically you're going to want to start Q first ability on Renekton in most cases because you can build up your rage bar really quickly and stack the wave and then get the wave level, get level 2 first. But if you're able to get a second ability on people with Kraken Slayer, then you can maybe go for the Kraken Slayer. So here you're going to see I'm going to trade aggressively with the Pantheon because I want to get a full Q in the wave and on him to get some healing and also stack up my rage bar. Now, into Pantheon, I was kind of trying to figure out how the matchup actually goes, and it looks like I do lose the trade a bit in minions there. So probably shouldn't have done that in hindsight. I've not played a ton of the matchup of Pantheon versus Renekton. Here, I'm going for level 2 and then trying to get the all-in with him. Again, kind of testing what works and what doesn't, and we figured out that we do get close to dying, but we almost kill him as well. So it wasn't the worst trade, but I do lose my flash for it. So could have been better. Once again, I kind of limit testing here in some matchups. If you don't really know how a matchup goes, that's what I recommend you doing, is doing things like this. If I was able to get level 2 first, I would have definitely been able to win the trade overall. But that is a good cheese to do a lot of times as Renekton, getting that level 2 and then getting the stun off when you have your empowered second ability. It does allow for very good trading. And so in this situation, now we have the wave in a good spot. It's under our tower, so we don't really have to worry too much. But in this situation, I want to shove the lane because if he ended up backing and then coming back to lane, I would be low health and down in items, so it would be hard to win the trade. But I noticed my jungler is here, and because my jungler is here, I can get this next wave in as well and then back after that. So my main goal currently is to get this wave and then back after, which is why my jungler is kind of hovering me so that I'm able to do that successfully, grab the wave. I'm not really scared because I know he can't 100-0 me, and I have my third ability to get out. So now we're looking for a back. I think that it's really good to go for steel caps into a lot of matchups, especially matchups like Pantheon, whose goal is really to burst you down and kill you really quickly. So we're going for steel caps here. Definitely going to be a really good initial item. I did still want to get that longsword for the early game, but now we're going for steel caps, so we'll be getting that up. And then going for Blade of the Rune King after that. Typically, I go Blade of the Rune King and Black Cleaver, and then into some type of bruiser or tank items like Sterix, Death Dance, Twin Guard, those types of items. And so now, again, we're going to let the wave meet the old minion wave so that it ends up being closer to our tower so that we can pressure the Pantheon easier and worry less about ganks. We also have a level advantage, so I want to trade very aggressively because of that. So you can see I do exactly that. I even get the dash to him at the end, winning the trade. But yeah, since we have the level advantage, we want to be playing around that. And now that he's kind of level 5, he doesn't actually gain much from level 5 because his ultimate is more of just a global ultimate. So I definitely have the advantage when we hit level 5, just because of the fact that I have it like a real ultimate. He wastes his ability there, so I know I can easily trade with him. I think I even could have E'd onto him and continued to trade, and that would have been fine too. But mainly, we're also seeing that enemy jungler is currently not here, so I can go for any type of aggressive trade I want. And he's around half HP, so he's definitely all-inable potentially if I'm able to get a nice kill onto him. Or like just get a nice stun onto him and then combo. So you're going to see I'm going to do exactly that. We're going to stun onto him and win the trade pretty aggressively. And again, I saw their jungler top side. I see they're still on top side, so I know that I can set up for a dive here. I believe I have enough damage if I simply bait out his shield. I don't remember what ability it is, but if I'm able to bait out his shield, you see I pop my W, but I don't actually use it. Make him think I'm going to use it, and then I get the kill onto him because I bait out that shield very nicely. So that's kind of an important thing in general, is keeping track of ability cooldowns and which abilities can, you know, avoid or like dodge your lethal range basically, and which abilities you need to get out before you really go for aggressive trades. So I knew exactly that. If I bait out that one ability, I can easily just get the kill onto him even under turret like that. I even had my ultimate, didn't even have to use the ultimate. Now we have plated steel caps, and we're getting a good amount of the Blade of the Rune King items as well. So we're just very strong at this point, looking to trade aggressively with the Pantheon when we can. And since enemy jungler was top side for quite a while, we should expect the enemy jungler to be bot side now. You're going to see, I think I'm going to go for a ward on the Herald. I hope I do. Maybe I won't. But I should, when I can, go for a ward on the Herald so that we can have vision of that. And so even trading aggressively here, I don't love it because, again, their jungler, like I told you, would probably be here. However, since I have my ultimate, I am going to survive. But that is a big mistake from me. I should have been able to track their enemy jungler based on his earlier pathing. But now they're going to go pretty aggressive, so we're going to look for the easy fight here since our jungler is here. Get the kill onto the Pantheon, but the Diana does ult and flash away. That's important to know for later, though, because now I know Diana has no flash and no ult if we do fight her later on. So that's a very important thing to kind of keep in mind. We can see my Amumu is going towards Dragon, and I want to do the same. I know Pantheon will probably ult onto the Dragon, and I don't want my team losing that fight. As a Renekton, I'm not a split-pushing champion. I'm a champion who wants to win lane, push that lane onto my teammates, and play aggressively, just getting into a lot of fights. So whenever I have an opportunity to fight, I'm definitely going to try to. And again, we know the Diana has no flash, so we know we can dash onto her and keep autoing her and try and go for the kill. My Amumu gets a nice steal, and we end up getting a couple nice kills in this fight here. Now I'm trying to back off, but I do get hit by the bubble. The Nami messes up her flash there, so we get another kill. And somehow, do we die? I think we die. Yeah, we do die, but we got quite a lot of kills, and we got our Blade of the Rune King, won that fight, won the Dragon fight, everything like that. And now we're going for Herald. So you're going to see a very big difference from this gameplay and some of my split push champion gameplay earlier that you guys have seen. And that's mainly the big difference is that it's more often that I'm fighting Dragon that I'm rotating. I understand the strength of my champion here is fighting, so I'm wanting to push the lane before we end up rotating, and then making sure we're rotating early enough before the objective. Now in this case, I ended up just like dying, and then I just rotated after, so it was a bit different. But typically, if you have the lead as Renekton, you're going to want to shove your lane and then rotate. Make sure you're doing that a bit before the objective actually spawns, maybe 10-20 seconds, so you have ample time to get there while still denying gold from the enemy and not allowing them to just push the turret. Now we do go for an over-aggressive fight here. I thought maybe I'd be able to kill them, but there were 5 there. Definitely too aggressive, but we at least get a couple, so it's not the end of the world. We forced the Varus flash as well. And our Kai'Sa gets a lot of gold on the top side of the map, so it's pretty good overall for us, even though it could have been a bit better. But we're very strong early game. This is really what Renekton's strength is winning the lane early game. The part where Renekton struggles more so is the later parts of the game, and that's kind of what I want to talk about as well when we're playing Renekton. Even if you get a very, very big lead, you usually can't solo win a game as Renekton. Usually you need to find a way to get that lead onto other people. So rotating for fights and making sure you're making aggressive plays to get your teammates ahead, or at least to get yourself so far ahead that you're able to just one-shot people. But if you're not able to just continue snowballing and being super far ahead, being a frontline champion and focusing on stunning the enemy carries is a perfectly fine way to play Renekton as well. It's not going to lead to you hard carrying games, but it still does let you, be very impactful in the game, play around your teammates, and use that early game advantage that Renekton has to kind of get it onto your teammates when you can. But again, here I'm trying to bait the Pantheon. I know that Pantheon probably won't expect me to be in the bush, so I'm kind of just waiting here. I'm going to give up one of these minions and just get the XP from it, and go onto the Pantheon, get a nice trade with him there. And we force out his flash. I think that I could probably dive him under turret if nobody ganks me here. If I just ult and then I stun him, he just used his shield, so I know he doesn't have the shield up. So I know I can go for him here, which is exactly what we do. And we get the easy kill onto him. And now we can pressure the turret for free, probably get the entire turret. So once again, once that shield is out, I know if he's half health or lower, I can just dive him when I have an empowered W, just like I do there. And we end up getting the turret, continuing to snowball, and just trying to get as much gold onto myself as possible. I think here I could have even taken the enemy jungle, but I think I decided not to, and just decide instead to back for Black Cleaver, which is a fine option as well, but probably could have helped to try to steal it, though their jungler does show up, so could have been risky. But definitely taking enemy jungle is another way to kind of push your lead. Again, as Renekton, you really got to be focusing on getting as much gold as possible early game, as much just snowballing as fast as possible, because you do kind of you're kind of playing on a timer in a way. It depends on your team comp though. Again, in this game I have an Amumu, I have a Kai'Sa. They scale very well, so I can kind of expect them to pick up the slack in the later parts of the game quite often. And then you're gonna see I'm gonna try to steal this, but not gonna be successful, though we have now the Twisted Fate ultimate here, so we're gonna be able to get an easy kill on the Pantheon, dodge out on that Diana ultimate, and now look for Diana. But I think I might end up dying here. I think I should have flashed earlier. Unfortunately, Varus rotated and we do end up dying, so that's unfortunate. All 5 of them end up being here. I'm going to take a quick drink of water, so just 1 second. But yeah, guys, as I said in an earlier video as well, I'm going to make a top lane guide, but I probably won't be able to make it this weekend because I'm going to be working and I'm busy with school during the week. So probably not going to be until next weekend that I have a top lane guide, but I'll try to get that out to you guys when I can. That's why we've got top lane gameplay, kind of just playing a lot of top lane, and going to be making a guide on that. Probably going to do like mid lane after, but we'll see what we do after. We'll decide depending on what I end up feeling like. So Aurelia gets caught out here, just a pretty easy kill. Don't really know what she was doing, but we'll take the free kill. Really good way to combo just like free kills too here in this game is with Twisted Fate. If I just dash onto somebody, I stun them, and then Twisted Fate stuns them, or vice versa. It works out very well. And you can see here I'm approaching this fight from the side, popping my ultimate to build up the rage bar, and now I'm just kind of on a flank there so that they have to deal with multiple different people. So that's another important thing in top lane, not just going directly into the fight, but a lot of times finding flanks, especially on these champions with CC or on just any carry champion, because if I'm just playing front to back, then a different tank champion is going to be able to do much better, and I'm not going to be able to find those angles to get really nice stuns, whereas here, when I have my flash up, and I have my ultimate and everything, it's kind of nice to do that instead. And then I'm going to go for stasis here instead of teleport. The reason for that is because Pantheon is not that dangerous of a split pusher, and he's very behind. So I'm not worried about the side lane. I'm worried about being as strong as possible in team fights. Normally, I would go for Gargoyle. However, they have Serpent's Fang onto the Pantheon, so I don't want Gargoyle because my shield will get reduced greatly. So instead, I go for the stasis in this game. It will allow me to go in, tank up a lot of damage, and buy some time as well, which is always very valuable. So another great hook, and you can see we're just following up with the CC here. We have so much CC, and we just get the easy kill there. But the Varus damage is pretty crazy, and so we do die. I could have stasis that, but I didn't react quick enough, so that's a bit unfortunate. But this Varus is definitely popping off, so he should be kind of one of my targets in the team fights. Making sure that I can go onto him with my stun if I can is definitely going to allow us to win the game. I would say Diana and Varus are kind of the main targets I want to be stunning. But really anyone is fine. If I can stun anyone and go for kills on them, that's perfectly fine. But again, we are kind of making some mistakes and getting caught out and allowing the team to possibly come back. So we're going to have to find a way to shut down probably again that Varus. That Varus is really the issue for the most part. And I might want to get a bit of magic resist for him, because even though that he is AD, he still does a good amount of magic damage with his blight stacks. And they also have a Diana. So I think I could have built more magic resist quicker here probably. You can see a little thing too that I do there is I stack up my rage by using my first ability onto the camp. So just whenever you're like walking by anything, just use a Q on it and just stack up your rage bar. It doesn't hurt. But again, we're just kind of hovering, looking for our team. You can see how much more though, if you guys watch some of my previous videos, I'm playing with my team. And again, that's very intentional because of the champion I'm playing. Really playing around my champion strengths and not focusing on perma split pushing. Now, I do want to be split pushing at times to get gold under myself and whatnot, but I realize split pushing is not going to be the way I'm going to win on Renekton 95% of the time. So when I get that lead, I want to be fighting with my team as much as possible. And again, you can see I've tried to find another flank here. I'm looking for creative angles to kind of just basically make them not expect me. I pop my ultimate again to stack up, and then I flash straight onto the Varus, and we're going to be able to kill him. He does flash away, so we can't kill him. But again, going for those flanks and those angles rather than just coming straight up, because Renekton is very good from flanks and stuff like that. So just looking for those angles in team fights can be very useful. I don't always recommend doing that if you don't have flash up, because sometimes it's harder to find the angles if you don't have flash, but it still can be useful. You just have to be a bit more patient. But once again, now that we have the Baron, we're just going to go split push and try to pressure side lanes. Maybe even take this camp. I don't know if we will. Looks like we won't. But yeah, just pressuring the side lane, going for the turret if we can. We can double dash out if anyone ends up coming towards us. And just kind of sitting here, chilling with the minions. I don't want to go too aggro because my team's not really here. I'm kind of waiting for my team to really push a different lane, and then I can look to more aggressively pressure the turret. Now, in this case, I think I can just 1v2 them because I'm so much stronger, but I was kind of incorrect. I honestly thought I could just kill them, but the Twisted Fate does come and help me out there, but I'm going to end up dying because I get caught out by the Nami ultimate, unfortunately. So another mistake about me just going a bit too aggressive. I did think that I just had the 1v2 there, but I think I had to bait them in and play a bit more safe and wait for them to kind of engage onto me. Now, the dragon is spawning soon. Not going to be alive for that, but I will respawn shortly after, so shouldn't be the end of the world. And Sterix here, I don't know if it's really the best option, again, because they have the Serpent's Fang. I maybe could have gone for another option that gives me, you know, like Death Dance could have been good, or maybe Maw Malmortius could have been good too, because, again, they have some magic damage on their team, but I end up going for Sterix, which is not the end of the world. Still a decent item. Again, like, honestly, situational items, like, it's not even usually necessary in most games. Like, it's better to build, you know, perfectly, of course, but building pretty standard and straightforward, even in games where it's not optimal, usually doesn't matter for the result that much. It very rarely ends up changing much, as long as you're building a normal build that works well enough. So this time I don't really have an angle to flank, but you're going to see I'm going to try to find one. Unfortunately, I kind of overextend and get kited there by the Varus. He has phase rush, it's pretty hard. But the Diana goes in, and because we're so fed, we just end up being able to kill her there. Again, just pretty straightforward how I'm playing this fight, dashing in, using my stun on people, first ability, everything like that, and then just backing out, trying not to die. But now I'm going to try to look for a flash stun onto someone if they overextend, because I am pretty low, so that's kind of the only way that we can kill them. Renekton has really good burst damage, so he's really able to like one-shot squishies very well. I'm using my autos to heal up on this Scuttle Crab with Blade of the Rune King healing. And they back off, so there's no real worry that they're going to contest or anything like that, so we end up just getting it for free. So now I just want to go push top lane, push that lane out, and then be with my team again. So I'm probably going to push top lane, clear that wave, and clear the wave after it, and then back for item, and then go regroup with my team. Because once again, I'm not trying to play on the side lane too often. I'm just trying to clear the lane and then rotate, which again is different than how I'm playing a split push champion, which is kind of the main thing I want you guys to take away from this game, is just the macro from a team fighting champion, or a champion that wants to be with their team, like a tank or a bruiser champion, rather than a lot of these other split pushers like Jax, like Fiora, Camille, those types of champions that are building Hullbreaker and everything. So we see the Aurelia there, and when I see someone on the side lane that's not pushed up too close to our turret, my main goal is to create a fight in the mid lane, because that Aurelia is currently preoccupied. Now, of course, she shows again, so I'm looking for a fight if I can, looking for a possible stun opportunity. I don't want to overextend or anything, and now that she pushes the lane, that kind of signifies that it's her turn to roam and it's my turn to go clear it. So I want to make sure that I'm not getting too caught up in the fighting, and I am clearing the side lane when I can. Again, kind of think of it like a turn where you're taking turns of when you get to fight versus when they get to fight. And if you push more lanes, then you get a longer turn kind of fighting. So here again, we end up going in and flashing onto the Nami and getting the kill onto her. Probably not the best flash, probably didn't need it, but regardless, we end up winning the fight pretty hard, and we can go for probably just the Baron afterwards. Or they could surrender. I forgot that they surrendered there. But yeah, so that's about it for the Renekton gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys were able to learn a bit about playing like a more team fighting oriented Baron laner. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed.